Boy, am I glad to have all of you with me today for the project that we have coming up. We have a serious issue going on, but it's not in the house. The problem that we have is my front yard. Now, I bought this house about 2 years ago, and this lawn had not been taken care of in a very long time. I live just a couple blocks from Lake Michigan, so the soil here is very sandy. If you don't add nutrients every so often or something to help improve the soil quality, it can get really burnt out. You end up getting a lot of bare spots like this. You end up with a lot of weeds all over the lawn. And when you have sandy soil and a lot of bare spots together, it's the perfect situation to get ant problems too. And we have ant hills all over the yard. The people who lived here before I did planted flowers randomly throughout the lawn, not in groupings that I could mow around, but just in the lawn itself. So I either had to not mow the lawn at all, or I'd have to mow right over the flowers. The worst part about this is that in the springtime, before the grass even began growing, I would have shoots sticking up about 10 or 12 inches that looked like weeds all over the lawn that you could see from 2 blocks away from the house. So I eventually was forced to dig these out all together by the roots, leaving huge bare spots in the lawn like this. And because it was too early in the year to plant grass, I've had to leave it like that all year long. My neighbors probably think that I'm crazy. Now that we have an introduction to this lawn project, we need to come up with a solution to each of the different problems we identified. So depleted soil is a big problem. Not enough nutrients in the lawn, not a great environment for anything to grow. Ants are another huge problem. Weeds are all over the lawn, and then these bare spots we have to deal with. So for the depleted soil, the short-term solution is to add a high-quality fertilizer. This PGF Complete is one of the best that I've found, and that's the one that we're going to use on this project. For the long-term part of this, we're going to add a soil amendment that fixes this and helps retain nutrients. And for that, we're going to use this Humichar product, which is a combination of biochar and humic acid. For the ants, I've found a duocide granular insecticide, which is something that we use our lawn spreader to spread across the lawn. Actually, the PGF Complete and the Humichar are also granular products. I'll show you what that means in just a minute if you're not familiar with that. For the weeds, we're going to use a liquid herbicide called Q4. That's also one of the better products that I was able to find on the market. Some of these are not the cheapest products, but they are what the professionals use and should really help get this lawn in order after a long time of neglect. And then finally, for these bare spots, we're just going to plant new grass. We just finished sprinkling the peat moss on the top, which makes it look like this. So this helps to keep the wind from blowing it away. It helps to keep the birds from eating it. So we're just gonna water this down a little bit, and then I'm gonna put some of these used coffee grounds on top of it. I've heard that squirrels don't like that. Last time squirrels were digging a lot of holes where we were planting the grass. Squirrels are really only a problem until the grass gets growing. While the dirt is loose, they like to dig in it. After the grass grows, really won't have that problem anymore. So for this project, we're going to be putting on 3 solid granular products. I only have 2 of them with us here today. I'm still waiting for the other one to come in the mail. So the one that's going to help with the ant problems is this Duicide right here. The Humichar is going to help be a long-term soil amendment to fix the poor quality soil. We're also going to use the PGF Complete, which is a high quality fertilizer. I'll show you what this looks like when we put it into the spreader. All right, we're going to go ahead and spread this on the front lawn. Now it's time to mix up the real ingredient, the liquid weed killer. I had to measure out my lawn first to see exactly what the area of the front yard is. I'll only be treating the front yard, which happens to be the smallest part of my lawn by far. It's also the part that has the most problems and of course is the most visible, so that makes the most sense for me. After getting the square footage, I use the labels from the products we'll be adding to get this mix right here. 2.2 gallons of water mixed with 3/4 cups of the Q4, that's the main herbicide, about a tablespoon of the surfactant, and about 3 1/3 tablespoons of the green dye. This is what the products look like. All right, so the first thing, I measured out 2.2 gallons of water using this old 1-gallon vinegar jug. You could use a milk jug. Next, what we'll do is we'll measure out the 3 products, the Q4, the surfactant, and the green dye, which will help tell us where we've spread it. We'll see that green dye on the lawn. Always be wearing protective gloves for this. Both because that Q4 is pretty toxic, but also that green dye will stain your hands really bad. So to measure these out, I've just bought this from the dollar store. You can get a set of measuring cups. Definitely don't be taking these and borrowing them from your kitchen and reusing them. These will be dedicated for these lawn products right here. Now I'll just stir this up using this old piece of scrap wood. Then we'll pour it into this lawn sprayer right here. Now I'm going to pour it over on the grass where if it spills a little bit, it's not a really big deal. Keep in mind this could kill the grass if too much gets on it. So there's a little more breeze than what I would prefer for spraying this type of product, but the wind is coming from the south to southwest, which is pointing that way, blowing towards me. So I'm always going to be standing upwind when I'm spraying it, meaning I will turn in this direction and spray while the wind blows away from me. And that wraps up our project for this time. As you can see, the grass we planted about 1 week ago is already coming in really well. And the grass that we planted 3 weeks ago is looking beautiful. Of course, the rest of this progress we're gonna have to wait until next spring to see, because it's already mid-October here in Wisconsin. But when that progress comes, I'll be sure to make a video and invite you along with me. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you next time.